for this character, I like the idea of playing with expectations. So kind of like how my Deathlord character, he's a healer that doesn't heal you. This is a tank that's like 80 pounds. So I originally called this character Thin Mint, but her name's just Wendy. But you see, I'm struggling trying to think of some sort of pose to use for her. But what Wendy is, I thought this would be really cool. So she is one of those children types that was experimented on to develop psychic powers. So she was tortured as a child, she was experimented on, and similar to you, Stuart, I wanted to tie this character into the actual world with other characters. So Widowmaker, for example, she's the assassin character in the game, and she had a job where she had to take down whatever the scientists, researchers in this lab. And this Wendy chick, she was there. Widowmaker's like, okay, you can be my little protege or whatever. So Wendy's kind of an assassin in training, but she has these really cool psychic powers that go along with her, which I think is cool. And we continue to not be at the actual drawing yet. I was really struggling thinking of a pose.
That was a jawline.
Yes, we know who.
Did anybody else?
We know who the real artist is. Thank you, Mitch.
See the Pokeballs for eyes?
No, I love
work in
that.
progress. Work in
I
progress.
love extreme features.
Yeah, but again, so Wendy is a tank character, but she is a tank, but she's like 80 pounds. So I was like, okay, that's fun. So she's like this tiny little schoolgirl, but she's like this killer assassin with psychic powers as well. But Wendy's whole motif, and you'll see it more as it develops, but she can use her psychic powers, and it's kind of like this miasma of tentacles behind her, but she can channel them to take the shape of whatever she wants. And since she was kind of raised by Widowmaker, since it's like her adopted mother, she has her psychic tentacles take the form of spider claws, which I think would look really cool. And again, she just looks like a little schoolgirl right now. We'll get to the psychic part. But what I thought would be really cool with her character is that she can use these psychic spider legs to walk around. So when Wendy comes into battle, she never actually steps foot on the ground. Her claws just kind of carry her forward, kind of like Doc Ock from Spider-Man. You know, that whole like, he doesn't... Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that'd be really cool, just this 80-pound girl, but she's like 10 feet in the air. Yeah, because like Widowmaker, she was this French ballerina. I thought we could kind of do the whole similar motif with Wendy. So she's look really cute, but she'll like cut you or whatever. And for her abilities, I just want to talk about her passive first. So for her passive, since she's got spider legs, she can just kind of stick to the wall indefinitely. And she can just hang there, and she has a sidearm as a pistol, but otherwise, as a tank, she just swipes at you with her psychic spider legs. And I probably shouldn't have been messing with passives, but with the passive, this is very similar to Reinhardt's hammer. Every time it hits you, you get slowed down a little bit. You're like in her psychic webbing, and here I am attempting to draw hands, and eventually I give up, and like, I'll just do spider claws. We'll do that instead. Yeah, go ahead.
Love the fact that you gave her like a six-pack for half a second.
Oh yeah, I could not figure out how to like draw breasts. It's like, oh, I'll just do a six-pack, we'll see how that works. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of creepy.
I was gonna say, are we laughing at the same thing? But okay.
Yeah, but you see behind her, I was like, oh, let's have like the presence of Widowmaker's like the spider head, and I'm having a really hard time figuring out what to do here. But so while that's going on, what I was really thinking of, she's a character. She's one of those annoying troll characters, honestly. So she has this ability called Psionic Cocoon, which I really like. So what Wendy can do, she can put herself in a cocoon that will protect herself from damage. But what she can also do is take other characters in there as well. So she can take in her teammates to heal them, or she can put in an enemy team member, and they're stuck in there for like 5 seconds. So if Farah launches up, oh, look at my ult, boom, cocoon, you just wasted that, punk. And same with Genji, if you're like, ooh, whatever the ninja thing is, you're like, nope, cocoon. And then you just hear them like screaming, you know, they like cuss you out afterwards in like the private chat, like, oh, you ruined my play of the game, that sort of thing. So she's a character that can really kind of control the pace of the match, which is really cool. And for her ultimate, it's something called the Spider Slayer. Ooh. So what she does, she sends out all her psychic energy, and she makes a psychic cage, maybe like 30 feet across. And it lasts for about 10 seconds. And when the enemies are inside of this cocoon, they can't leave. So for example, they're about to get the point, cocoon, boom, they can't leave. But unfortunately, the cocoon will end if Wendy dies. But while Wendy's in there, she can just move like a spider, she can scurry across the walls or whatever, and she's basically one of those characters that just tries to stall for time. And I know my drawing ended, but I got one more thing. She's a tank, so she's got to have a shield. So she can convert her spider legs into shields. But what I really wanted to do with her, I thought it'd be cool, her shield size depends on the amount of hit points that she has. So if she's full health, her shield's really small. But if she's low health, her shield's gonna get really big. And I thought, oh, she can work together or pair with the Deathlord, because Deathlord can keep her permanently at 1 hit point, and that way her shield will always be at the maximum size. I thought that'd be a pretty cool way they could bounce off and interact with each other. And then here is the actual final drawing, and yeah, that is Wendy. Ain't she a doll? A little bit creepy, but she's a doll.
Ooh.
She's a doll.
I can appreciate that.
I don't like how I did the purple goo. It kind of just looks like a sludge backpack in hindsight, but I think she looks creepy enough. It's like, oh, she's so cute, but okay, I probably shouldn't get too close to her. That kind of thing.
I love how she looks innocently up, like nothing is going to happen to you.
I'm not
promise.
floating. Tee.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's nice little attention.
That is a very Jonathan Horn thing of like, did you do it? Maybe.
You can't prove anything. Oh. Yeah.
You don't know what I've done.
Yeah, but I thought a tank that's not a tank, and like you did, Stuart, I just like connecting her with the current existing universe. And there's not really a psychic character except for Sigma, I think. So I think we could have some more of those.
So I knew that a lot of like Overwatch's thing was that people's abilities was based on science, as we've sort of been discussing. And so I was just sort of thinking, if they're always out to protect the world, who actually develops and creates everything that they, use? And so I got the idea for this sort of, he's not really a mad genius, he's more so he's just a brilliant young man who sort of kicked it off early in life, was really smart, really good at what he did. And so decided to create Damien. Damien is known as the Alchemist. If you think about a lot of the moves in Overwatch, yes, a lot of them are guns and stuff like that. But I was thinking, what about like Widowmaker's like poison toxic trap? That's like acid. If you think about the nano boost that Ana used, what is even in the nano boost? And so right here, I debated about making Damien a girl. I didn't. So that is why there's sort of the face shape and the mouth shape. But Damien, I wanted to see the scientists come out and fight in Overwatch 2. I don't know about anybody else. I would like to see where it comes from. Also, I wrote racist because I realized it looked like an Asian when I was doing this part. But
that can be like one of the skins you unlock just as racist.
Oh my gosh. Demonetized?
Oh no.
But I actually gave him some sort of cool, like, I had this idea in my head of how Damien would work. I noticed that, like, I sort of needed a weapon and I couldn't really think of any. So I decided that Damien would be throwing out the potions and experiments that he'd been working on. And his would be sort of like Junkrat, where he gets 5 bottles and he just throws them out. And then he's got to like reload, aka shuffle around in his pockets to find her, and just keep like throwing them out at people. I wanted to make him a relaxed character. The second thing that like I wanted to do, and this is me debating on what I was going to do, and I decided to go steampunk with a cloak. So I had to remember how to draw a collar. So I decided to make him sort of like a young, brilliant genius who just knew everything about the science in Overwatch. So he is going to be like, I don't know. So to explain his move, because this is sort of where I want to hurry up and go with this, is his first move, obviously, is just his normal shots, which is throwing out potions, which will do, like, they're sort of the explosives that Junkrat has, where they hit you and they do explosive damage. His E or Q, which one would be considered the first move. But his first move would be sort of a quick little boost, to where he can throw it at a teammate and it sort of hurries them along, sort of like a quick like little Lucio thing where he hurries his teammate up just by hitting him with potion. The second move that he has is a sort of a debuff, which is he throws it at an enemy, and the enemy starts to just take a little bit of damage as they're hit with acid. And then his ult would be Alchemist Fire, where he throws it out into like middle of a group, and it hits everyone, and they just start burning with Alchemist Fire. And it's set damage for if you're hit in the main zone, and then a ticking damage hit on the outside. But Damien's story is that he was hired at a young age to work for Overwatch's group. This is when I decided I can't do straight lines. But he hired by, like, isn't the group just known as Overwatch? I always forget.
It's just Overwatch.
But he got hired by the Overwatch Corporation to come in and help develop the weapons that they would use to defend the Earth and defend everything else. Well, in Overwatch 2, he decides to take some of his weapons out for a little bit of a test drive. I thought about naming him Driven. I didn't like it. But this is actually the complete version of him. So he is Damien the Alchemist. I wanted to add a little bit of detail. This would be sort of like his profile, and I'll run it by you in case you don't see it, but like he's got like the nano boost on the top shelf. The second shelf is all of the stuff that he throws out. The third shelf is Widowmaker's poison traps, and the last one is Roadhog's little health thing. Because if you think about it, if everything has to be explained by science in Overwatch, who's coming up with this science? Especially if everybody who is smart enough, aka Will the monkey Wilson, Winston. I don't know why I said Wilson. I think it was.
Oh, his name's
Not a real
Curious
fan.
George. Get it right.
I was thinking volleyball. I don't know why.
But honestly, Stuart, I like how you're explaining all the stuff. I've always said like, oh, it's science, but who does the science? That's a really good point. I always thought it was just Winston.
Winston. How is Winston always in the battlefield if nobody's developing this at any time? So I wanted to basically bring out and show a little bit of like limelight on the person who's been behind all the stuff the entire time. And he's eventually, the reason he's so relaxed is because he knows he's great. He knows he's brilliant. I mean, look at that face. That man knows he created everything every hero uses in the fights. And now he's getting to come out in Overwatch 2 and just go ham with all of the stuff he's created.
All right, Mitch, you want to watch your video now?
Ha ha ha.
Oh, wait.
So, yeah, I'm just going to post the two, and I'm basically just going to read through his character sheet kind of quickly, and then if you guys have questions, and then I might go over some of the process. So, yeah, I'm going to put them up right now. All right, so here we have this one.
Can I just stop? That looks like a Digimon character. That's all I'm going to say. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, like one of the Digimon lords or something. That's cool.
Never played Digimon.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Why has he got R2-D2 strapped to his shins?
Everyone's a critic, right?
Oh. Nice. I didn't notice that.
Sorry,
right.
I had to say it.
I love supports. It's like my main role in most games whenever I'm playing some type of team-based game. And so I give you Kyle Finnegan, aka Hemlock. I'm going to go through his abilities. So what he has is twin dart pistols. Originally, I was just going to do two like large syringes that he either threw.
Yeah.
And then I did some silhouettes and I sent them out to some friends and I was like, hey guys, which one do you think is the strongest? And a lot of people liked the one where he had twin pistols. So I decided to have him kind of refurbish two twin pistols into dart guns. And so he just calls them twin dart pistols, and it's Hemlock refurbished two pistols to shoot multiple syringes in a round. The gold pistol shoots adrenaline into allies, causing them to gain attack speed and power. The purple pistol shoots poison, which both slows enemies and damages them over time. His first ability is Miasma. Hemlock tosses a vial filled with black liquid that shatters upon contact. It emits a vaporous fog that deals damage to any living thing within the radius of the impact zone. That means allies as well. Shroud. Hemlock uses a stealth field generator to hide himself, allowing him to sneak up to an enemy and brutally stab a syringe into their vitals. Instantly kills targets with less than 25% health.
Okay.
Field Medic. Hemlock throws down a small biotic field that heals allies gradually when it's when within its radius. Enemies who pass through are stunned briefly before being pushed out forcefully. Snap. This is his ultimate. Hemlock's mind shatters into insanity, giving him a significant boost to healing and damage. During this mode, he continually laughs, chilling enemies and allies alike, causing them to stop for a few seconds when he passes. Now I'm going to go over his story real quickly. So his name's Kyle Finnegan.
I don't think I want to hear this story.
Can I point something out just really fast?
What's up?
If they added your character and they added Damien, it would be the perfect counter for each other, because then you would have sort of the same exact moves, the buffs. Like you said, his name's Kyle. What? I'm sorry.
Finnegan.
Kyle. If they added Kyle Finnegan and they added Damien, like this would be like a really cool. Like they're against each other. One like the mad doctor and the other one's the mad scientist.
Yeah, and can I actually ask a question about that adrenaline thing for a second?
Yes.
Yeah, so how exactly does that affect the player? Like, does it make them faster? Does it speed up their ultimate charge? How does it change the game?
So the adrenaline essentially gives them attack speed, so they attack faster, and it also gives them attack damage.
That's cool. Does the adrenaline have any sort of negative effect? Like, does it take away a bit of their hit points when they're adrenalized or when it wears off? Or
I would imagine when it wears off, they'd probably attack a bit slower than before because they're in a low.
Okay, that's
Oh,
cool.
you could do where like when they're hit with the adrenaline, they attack faster, but right after it, like maybe 3 second attack speed is slow,
I like
and
that, yeah.
then it gradually builds back up to normal pace.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a good way to balance it. Oh, just adrenaline, nano boost Reinhardt. Oh, that sounds great.
All right, I'm just gonna read through his bio real quickly because I love it. I spent a lot. I really feel bad that I don't after drawing for this because this one was my like child. I love this one. So he's 27. His occupation is chemical assassin. His base of operations is Dublin, Ireland. His affiliation is the European Forces Medical Unit. His quote, I decided to give them quotes. His quote is actually, "Stop thrashing, you're ruining my work." At a young age, Kyle's father was diagnosed with a terminal illness. And unlike children his age, Kyle had a certain genius for chemistry and deadly flora. Having no fond memories of his father, Kyle spent months researching and experimenting for a cure. When he had found the suitable mixture, he used his father as a test subject and saw his father was cured almost immediately. A pit formed in his stomach, unexplainable and unfamiliar, that urged him to tweak the mixture ever so slightly. Once finished, he offered the second cure to his father. Instantaneously, his father's face is twisted into shapes of horror and pain, his screams piercing the quiet night air. Blood poured from his mouth and he died in agony within the next few minutes. The room was still for moments before Kyle broke into a wicked laughter. Several years later, Kyle was released from the European psych ward for the murder of his father and is given to the military for rehabilitation. Kyle quickly soars through the ranks with his medical knowledge, consistently learning more and more in the arts of healing, all the while a quiet voice whispers to him about his childhood deed. Eventually, the militia enlisted Kyle into a special ops unit, specializing in assassination through the use of medical formulas and devices. Codenamed Hemlock, Kyle finally feels useful towards humanity, wiping out the disgusting pigs hiding in human flesh.
Oh my god.
The whole idea... Sorry. So the whole idea with Kyle was I wanted a healer that didn't actually care about healing. And his favorite thing to do is to take something that's deadly. And so... For instance, hemlock. It's a very deadly plant. It's a deadly tree. However, in the right doses, it can be used as a painkiller, as a medicine, as anything. But like everything that can be used as a medicine, just a slight tweak of it can bring it deadly. And that's something Kyle loves to use, is he loves to take something that can be healing and just twist it ever so slightly that it's agonizing. And I wanted to go with a healer that was just insane. Like he was manic.
Dang.
And so for his color schemes, you can see the first one, it's like red, white, black. It's very blue. It's very symbolic of classic classic medical officer. Whereas the second one, I wanted to go with something that was a bit more, unique to a healer. Like he's not necessarily a healer. He's kind of like a toxic parasite in a sense. So I went with like the whites, the purples, the blacks, this like dusty gold and dusty blue. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with this character. I feel so bad that I don't have art for him because I loved working on him so much.
I find it interesting how both of us made healers that don't actually heal. That's pretty interesting.
Why can't you guys like make a support class that actually supports, man?
He heals.
Oh, I thought he just poisoned and did adrenaline.
The yellows.
his field medic and his ability, his ultimate heal, but it has to be specific move.
Oh, never mind. So I'm the problem. Okay, thank
But
you.
also, support doesn't just mean healing. Support just means buffing and
Debuffing.
utility and just basically helping teammates do better.
Yeah, so it seems like your healer and my healer are probably secondary healers. Like, you could go solo with a Mercy or an Ana, but this would be someone to complement them. Probably couldn't carry with just our healers, which is okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't necessarily have him in mind to carry. If anything, he could assassinate, but he wouldn't necessarily be a carry.
That is cool, because like if Widowmaker comes to take out the healer, you can like, no. And you can actually kind of fight back, because most healers can't do that. That's neat.
Yeah.
I want to show you guys my super secret final drawing that I've been keeping.
Oh no.
So you guys can't see it right now, but it's a image of our podcast. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for watching. And if you are interested, feel free to check out our podcast as well. Like and subscribe and let us know about your own Overwatch characters that you'd like to make. We're not the only ones who can make OC's #DoNotSteal, right? And thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Mitch, for helping me realize just how terrible I am at drawing.